if you know the value of your customer, you need to be willing to get them something physical, get them something digital. And it doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be both. You can mail them a physical thank you letter for them downloading your digital product.
Sure.
That's simple. It's that simple. And they're like, whoa, and just handwritten, hey, thanks. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your order. If I got that from somebody, I'd be like, what else can I buy from them?
Right.
That's
Mhm.
what you want to do is create cognitive dissonance. You want to do a pattern interrupt so that you are, whatever marketplace you're in, listen, it's crowded. Unless you're the only person in the marketplace, guaranteed you got some kind of crowd of people doing that along with you. So what can you do to create cognitive dissonance, which is like waking people up and like, whoa, this is different. Like Nick and his fake bar of gold there. I mean, I wish he sent me a real one, but I still kept that one because I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, that's a pretty cool gimmick. And Nick, it is
Sure.
not too late to send me that bar of gold, buddy. I'm just saying. So, yeah, think people. What can you do? Better service, mesh the digital with the physical. Think outside the box. What can you do differently that is not going to cost you a fortune, but is going to elevate the customer's experience so much that it's almost like buying instant loyalty. As long as your product's not crap, mind you, you have to have at least an okay or minimum viable product to be able to pull this off. But if you're selling
Yes.
garbage, everybody's going to know it. But if you have
Yeah.
something half decent, you can just elevate. And Dan Kennedy's, now Russell Brunson has a is doing stuff with Dan, and it's pretty cool stuff. Russell's another guy you want to know about. I remember
Yeah.
him. He actually called me for advice when he was first starting out with this wrestling thing. And the first set of tapes I did with this guy Terry Dean, Instant Internet Streams for Ordinary People, back in like '99. It was like 8 cassette tapes. That's in Russell's library. So I'm in like
Wow.
Russell's Marketing Hall of Fame, which is
Wow.
quite an honor. It's so good to see him go so far because he struck me as a nice dude back then, 20 plus years ago.
Yeah.
There's
That's
another
pretty
guy,
wild.
oh, there's another way you can do it. Make calls to the experts, send them emails, get to know them a little bit, ask for advice. You don't know who you're going to find that is at a point in their lives where they're able to at least give you a smidge of advice or consider talking to you or even doing an interview. I mean, geez, our Jonesy and our new client, he just interviewed Frank McKinney, the real estate guy. And Frank McKinney to me, like you got Robert Allen here. I put Frank McKinney like, even above, I mean, old Bob Allen, no money down and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Frank McKinney's been around for, again, 20 years.
Mm.
And here's a guy interviewing him, and one of our clients, I'm like, damn, how'd you pull Frank off? He said, hey, I did. He asked and he got. So there's all kind of things. One of the other things you can look at is we were talking beforehand, guys. Pod Match, was it Jonesy that was
Yeah,
mentioned
I
that
think that's it. I'll
yeah,
verify that in a second here.
yeah, now that I've said it, let's verify it.
Yes. mypodmatch.com.
Okay, mypodmatch.com, just like it sounds. And it's
Yeah.
a matchmaker for podcasts, right, Jonesy?
Yep.
For guests and people that host podcasts. So if you're starting out on a podcast and you don't have guests, this is the place you go to, mypodcastmatch.com.
mypodmatch.com. And
My
it actually looked like it
Podmatch.
was God, I scribbled down a couple names. That was on the panel. It might have been Armand that said it, or it might have been Dr. Len Schwartz that said it as well. Who's another guy to check out. He has a whole referral system. His entire expertise is about referrals, like taking how you take medical practice referrals and applying that to basically any business and systemizing it, because it's typically a lead channel that isn't necessarily within your locus of control, but he turns it into it somehow. I don't know. I got his book. I'm about to read it, so we'll circle back on that. Really interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is they've generated over 84,000 interviews among their 10,000 members. And I mean, it's pretty darn impressive. I'm certainly interested. They match people and this and that. So you have no excuse for not starting a podcast, because here's a place that's your old Italian or Jewish grandmother being a matchmaker, you know? It's right here. They know a good person you should meet. Pretty sharp. I'm going to be doing that too, Jonesy. I think, you know, you and I as a team on a podcast, and us and George, I'm going to have to do 3 of us, George. We'll say we come as Siamese triplets, come interview all of us, because we're just a riot together, that sort of thing. But a directory like that, man, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
There's an audience for everybody. Some
Yeah.
people say, you know, I like to say that when people ask me about, like, they want to start a podcast or a YouTube channel, my thing is just start it. Your audience will find you. Just make sure you use the proper keywords and whatever, and people are going to find you no matter what.
I saw yesterday one of my buddies, Alex, he films trains and stuff just like I do. He's either got 100,000 views now or 100,000 subscribers, and I can't remember which, but either way, he's making money off YouTube feeding his hobby. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I mean, I write my one buddy's an editor for like a train fan, it's Rail Fan magazine. I write 2 magazine reviews a month. I get paid $100 for the review, plus I get to watch stuff that I'd be paying for anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
there's things you can do that, offer to write reviews, you know, for another website. Hey, I see you like to talk about X. Can I write some reviews for you? Or is there any, you know, can I be your sort of consumer advocate or whatever? I mean, it's $1,200 a year for what? An hour's work a month, 2 hours maybe? It's free money as far as I'm concerned. And I
Yeah.
get a free subscription to a magazine that I would pay $90 a year for anyway. You have to think on your feet. There's opportunity everywhere, man. You just have to put your marketing goggles on, like George and I have on. Where's your pair, Jonesy?
I got marketing LASIK, sir. So I always see my marketing goggles.
Always have to be an upstart, these kids, George. I tell
I'm
you.
telling you.
You're 2 for 2 today, Jonesy. I'll give you that, man. And marketing LASIK.
You know what? As long as I'm hanging out with you guys, I'm always throwing 3s.
Boy, you talk about marketing. Fix your vision, but we're going to bolt you down in this chair and come at you with laser beams. But don't worry, it's going to be okay. Hell with that, man. My wife got it a couple years ago and she loves it. But that first day or so, woof, you know, that's marketing. We're going to burn your eyeballs up and cut them into different, you know, fractions or fractals or whatever. But don't worry, you're going to see great in 2 days. That's marketing, you know? Or like,
Well, I walked away with a good experience, so they got my glowing review.
Oh,
you
that's
did
awesome.
get LASIK, didn't you?
Yeah, about
Oh,
2 years
wow.
ago, just over 2 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, she loves it. I mean, she needs, and she's a little bit older than you slightly because I married young this time. But you know, she needs her readers now, but she's thrilled to death with it.
Mhm.
And I'm like, man, you got to drug me and knock me out and prop my eyeballs open. You're coming at me with a laser beam, you know? You had a good experience, though. That's excellent.
Well, actually, the experience sucked. It was the weirdest thing ever, but it was so short and they were really awesome about it. And then when I was able to see literally 2 hours later, and then the next day I was really able to see, yeah, worth it. I would do that again. It was probably one of the weirder things I've ever experienced, but
I would
for
imagine.
the outcome, I would do it again. Yeah.
Well, let's hope you don't.
Right.
To get older like me and George, and then you need trifocals like me.
That's true. You guys are old enough to remember advertising specialties, coins, keychains, pens, t-shirts. There were I don't even know if they exist anymore, advertising specialty companies where you buy promotional items that are imprinted or laser engraved with your company or your service on it. That used to be super, super huge. And there were advertising specialty executives that would go door to door, and they'd show up at business card exchanges and business meetings and things like that. I know, and I haven't seen a lot of it in the past 20 years. 20 years ago, my Lord, there was everything from coasters, t-shirts, baseball caps, sunglasses, just everything was a branded something. And somebody would come up with an idea to print their business on some weird item. And that was like really incredible, a screwdriver, or, when you'd go to different expos, and you go from booth to booth, you were collecting, keychains and t-shirts and baseball caps. And remember those things? Like, you'd go to like a chamber business event and you get a bag in the beginning. Like, when you walk in, they give
Yeah.
you a bag,
The swag bag.
a swag bag, and you go from
Swag.
table to,
Stuff we all get. SWAG. Swag.
yeah. And you would just like table to table and
Yeah.
just load. Like, I swear I didn't buy a pen for at least 25 years. At least 25 years.
Between that and the hotels, yeah. That's still everywhere, George. But what's
Yeah.
happened is that it's become a lot more DIY, meaning
Yeah.
there's a lot of these companies that some of them that I use for my clients, for imprint, for all promos, next day flyers. They're right over in Jersey. It's a great one. You can self-serve. So you can pick out your swag, the pens, the t-shirts, the tote bags, the Bluetooth speakers, upload your logo, ask how many you want, and they fulfill for you and then send it out. And now you've got your swag for your trade shows. And one guy that I know loves doing it is our buddy Pete Bondarenko from the mastermind.
Yeah.
That guy sponsors everything he can in the Lower Bucks area. His swag is everywhere. In fact, at my rental property, I got a couple of his keychain flashlights that we use to go down in the dungeon basement. So PB Adjusting's lighting it up. So that's, yeah, still very, very much a factor in the DIY space. But then you've got some specialty companies. One of my best friends actually works for one that does like more of the brokering setup, where
Okay.
she deals between manufacturers, the branding, and like casinos. So it's typically higher end stuff, like not just t-shirts, widgets, coasters, stuff like that, but like maybe suitcases, just in general, higher end stuff, Yeti tumblers, stuff that you're not going to do self-serve on.
Yeah.
It's just there's become fewer of them and more niched.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I looked for one here. I used to be a representative of, that was one of the things I wanted to go and bankrupt. I tried import export, business advertising specialties, this company Basco, BASCO, mail order, biweekly mortgage, excess inventory liquidation, and this and that. That's I tried everything to get out of my job, man. Like tying it back to the theme of our show, fire my boss, fire your boss, fire everybody's bosses, and that's what I did. I tried everything and anything that I thought would even remotely work. And thank God some of it did,
I wonder how big the fire your boss community can be, because there's got to be some stats. Like, if we Google job dissatisfaction in 2024 in the US, like, what percentage of people are unhappy with their jobs? They are potential fire your boss fans. So many people just stay where they are because they don't know what to do. They don't know what first step to take. Let me ask you this. Can conversion chemistry help that person?
Yes. One of our free resources can help you with that, which is just defining your personal brand, which is, can be the first step of what can you offer as an entrepreneur, or what can you offer as a side hustle? What is somebody either already paying you for, or what are you known for? And, you can think about how to monetize that.
That is such a power question. What are people already paying you for? Or what are people
going to you for?
What have people paid you for in the past? I mean, it's that thing where there's a woman on Udemy, the educational platform. She is the sourdough lady. She got divorced and she had to go back to work. and she was talking with one of her friends, and she's like, I can't do anything. I was a, a wife and a mother for all these years. I don't have any skills. I was a homemaker. And person said, what do you mean you don't have any skills? You're a great baker. You are just a phenomenal cook. You make the best breads I've ever had. So she created a sourdough bread, and it's like a thing now. If
Mhm.
a lot of the young women are into sourdough bread baking, and she started a course on Udemy, and I mean she's known as the sourdough bread lady. And I think her first year selling sourdough bread baking courses, she made like $80,000 her first year. Second year, I think it was over 300,000.
Damn, suck it, Wonder Bread.
Come on.
We say this whole show isn't just about fire your boss and work on the internet. It's fire your boss and find what you love to do. And that may be another job. Or, some people may not be ready to fire every boss. They just want to fire this boss. And guys, in this chat, I just put some interesting statistics here. I Googled job dissatisfaction statistics 2023. And they're like, it's the worst. It's the worst ever, man. It's just like, construction industry is the happiest because of rising wages and plentiful job opportunities. Technology sector, which God forbid we make anything in this country anymore. It's all technology and services. Um, employee happiness is plummeting fast. But the gist of it, they say, overall, June 2023 represents an all-time low for employee happiness, which peaked at the beginning of the pandemic in 2020, in April 2020. I guess when everybody got home and was working from home, they're like, oh my God, this is great. And ever since then, either they've had to go back to work for the man physically, or, working from home but being monitored, satisfaction's gone consistently down.
Mhm.
I mean, these are just like, you know, education, travel and hospitality, and restaurants, food and beverage, finance, they're all low. They have these formulas, all construction's at the top, because you can make $100,000, $150,000 a year working in a union place, or not even a union place necessarily, at a trade, you know, which is another way of firing your boss. If you're in finance or whatever and you hate it, go learn how to drive a bulldozer. It's another way of firing your boss, George. And that's where Brenda would come in. She would say, well, this is what I do. This is how I do it. We do this assessment. Well, and I think that would be good for people on our show to hear.
Yeah. I love asking the question, how would an extra $1,000 a month change your life? It doesn't take a lot to bring satisfaction. If you were earning money in another area, all of a sudden your job may seem more bearable. That's a possibility too. So
Sure.
that question, how would an extra $1,000 a month change your life?
It's the way I see it is it can be applied any way as leverage. One, you are more comfortable because you got that extra G. Two, it makes your 9 to 5 or whatever it is more bearable, like you said, or the leverage of, suddenly I don't need this other thing as much as I thought I did,
Yeah.
just from a mindset standpoint. And,
Yeah.
and that's what I want people to have. I want people to be empowered with that.
Also, too, I want to think about, young people coming up who might be watching this, watching three old guys. I'll speak for myself, at least one old guy. When I look at people like Samuel, he's going to do really well without going to college one single day. But it seems like in America, that's one of the rites of passage for a man or a woman, 18, 19 years old. You got to go to college. You got to go to. What if you can make $1 million a year with a business idea? Would you still have to go to college? And it's hitting him pretty hard that he can do whatever he wants without a degree. So fire your boss. We are talking about ideas for people who may never have had a boss or may never have gone to college. I mean, there might be a young man, 18 years old, watching us who thinks he has to go to school for 4 years and get a degree.
You don't. You just don't. You know,
I mean,
my
unless it's like a licensed kind of job where you need like a
plumber's
certain,
license.
yeah, some kind of, medical, like STEM kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if
Right.
you want to be a doctor, go be a doctor. That's, the point of all this. If that's what you want to
Yeah,
do, then go for it. And yes, that is the pathway for you. But if you're not sure, or you're not passionate about any of those particular verticals or industries or professions, then no, don't do it.
right.
But
That's
still, you still need to keep a growth mindset and a hunger for knowledge, because it's the knowledge is the one thing that doesn't necessarily I mean, yeah, you can pay for knowledge or you can, learn as much as you can free, right? There's both. But knowledge is a birthright it's an American birthright. All right. It should be a universal birthright is the pursuit of knowledge. And that's the one thing that can turn into power and or money if that's what you
Yes,
seek.
yes.
I just myself, guys. I graduated in 1982. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I always knew I was going to be a truck driver or train engineer, but I really high school bored the hell out of me. I was making money on my paper route, $50 to $100 a week for working 2 hours a day. Back then was a pretty sweet gig, you know, and
Yeah.
I was used to money, so I wanted to work and figure out what I wanted to do in life. It took me from 1982 starting out as a stock boy in a department store to 1996 finishing my tractor trailer driving career to really figure out what I wanted to do. And that was working from home on the internet, making money and helping people, not just selling crap and never intermingling with anybody. I want to talk to just because I'm home doesn't mean I don't want to talk to people. You know, I love people. I'm a humanist. I like to get to know people. I like to talk to people. That's what I'm good at, is
Mhm.
that. But it took me 14 years. And yeah, I went and got my associate's degree. I don't know if I told you guys this. So my probably 29 or 30 years old, my ex-wife goes, look, man, I hate my job. You hate yours. I'm going back to college at night to get my degree. If you want to sit home and watch The Simpsons every night, great. If not, then you need to come with me to this open house. And I did. And I thought, well, let me get my logistics management degree, right? So that's, transportation, shipping, warehousing, whatever. Well, I graduated in 2 years, head of my class, and I had an opportunity. My professor was one of the key members of the Council of Logistics Management, which is the international thing. He's like, Frank, man, fly down to Florida. I want to shop you around and stuff. We'll get you a good gig. I had a career counselor. I was interviewing with Northwest Airlines, um, Conrail, General Motors, all these different places. And I soon realized, wait, I'm going to trade driving a tractor trailer for, at then they had, what were they called? They had to have the phone with you all the time. Those pager, beeper
Yeah.
things. You have to
Yeah.
wear a beeper or a pager and be on call on the weekends in case like a truckload of trainload of fenders didn't make it from Detroit to the assembly plant in New Jersey. And it was then and only then I was like, I just can't do this either, man. And I thought about buying my own tractor trailer and going to work for this place out of Philadelphia. But then, oh, you're only 29, 30. Lloyd's of London was going to insure me. That's how expensive or like risk seen as a risk. And I'm like, well, screw that too. What else can I do? And then somebody pitched me on network marketing without me knowing it was network marketing. And then I was in that, and that was hard doing it the old way, inviting people to hotel meetings. And then finally I said, wait, can I get leads on the internet? And that's when it took off. Then I grew my group to 200 and something people. Other people from other programs would say, hey, where are you getting your leads? Where are you getting your autoresponders from? I still get commissions from Mayweather people that signed up 20 plus years ago. The
Mm.
internet is a
Wow.
whole new way of thinking, guys. It's
Wow.
just a whole new way of thinking. But my point of all that story is don't feel like you have to go to college. It wasn't right for me. You know, I love what I do. The only thing I would have gone back for would be maybe first aid or emergency management, something where you're really helping the community. I think that's the only other thing that would have made my, you know, my heart beat a little faster because I do a volunteer thing now with the county, Lehigh County, Pennsylvania, community emergency response team. Like we
That's
do
when they
drills.
beat the crap out of you, right?
Yes, in a simulated airplane crash that I experienced last Saturday. Yes. But that's the giving back. I love that stuff. And who was it? I'll give the mic back in a second here. Who was that had us list of 10 skills? Jonesy or
Kellen
George?
Flukiger.
Yeah, one of our speakers at this gig made us write down 10 skills, and I'll read them to you. I'm skilled at putting people at ease and making them feel welcome. I'm skilled at making people laugh because, quite frankly, I'm a jackass and I like making fun of myself because it's easy. I'm only kidding. I do like to make people laugh. I like to coach. I'm a lover of people. I make people believe in themselves. I'm good at navigation, which is the truck driver in me. Like if you said go from here to Oakland and from Oakland go to Toronto and from Toronto go to Miami, I don't even need a map. I know where I'm going, right? I'm good at seeing opportunities and possibilities. I'm good at bringing people together. I can talk to just about anybody. And I said, I'm a man. People tell me I'm a man of the people and relatable. Well, what place in the world is there for a guy like that in corporate America? You know what I mean? It just rages against everything that typical corporate America stands for. I had to, by nature, become an entrepreneur in order to survive and not kill my me, who I was. Can you guys really picture me in a General Motors warehouse saying, okay, railroad, we need 27 carloads of fenders tomorrow. You guys are in trouble. I mean, is that me? It isn't. It just shoes didn't fit. I don't care. Graduating head of my class and this and that. It didn't matter. I was always born to be an entrepreneur. Even with the newspaper route, I told you guys, when I got the job, I didn't know any better, but I said, hey, I'm taking over for Joanne. My name's Frankie Garin. Where do you want your paper? What's the latest I can get it to you? And when is a good time to collect? I did so good on the first route that the North Star Ledger, New Jersey, they asked me to take over a second route. That's how I was making 100 a week, you know? That was so right then I didn't know I was an entrepreneur, but I was an entrepreneur just by asking people. And I could have just delivered the newspapers and tossed them wherever and showed up on Friday and said, collecting. Instead, they'd say, hey, Frankie, how's school this week? Oh, you remind me of my grandkid. Do you cut lawns? This and that. You know, I don't know. And I think part of that is in all of us because what did I know any different than to be me? Does that make any sense, or was that just a
Yeah,
long
no, I
rant
mean,
about nothing?
yeah, it's let's get you back to bed, Grandpa. But no, it's
You jerk.
that's that type of mentality
Get you
and
back to the home.
that type of mentality and attitude needs to be nurtured and encouraged. And that should be identified early. And yeah, there should be a pathway, a conduit for somebody to be successful when they exhibit those signs.
And they should be encouraged. Yeah, if you
Yes.
feel like us, you're in the right place.
Yeah.
Like if this resonates with you, man, we can help you, whether it's a new business, a new job, a new uh, enterprise that you launch yourself, whatever. That's what you're here for. When we talk about firing your boss, that is not a negative. That is a positive because whichever way you go, you're on your path to greatness. You can't stay in the same place. Even if I would have stayed at my last full-time job, they just got sold out last year, man. The guy ran the business into the ground, which he kind of was doing when I left in 94, but it took him another 25 years, but he did it, ran the business into the ground and sold it. So my point is no place the railroad got merged. I would have been middle management, gone. Northwest Airlines that I interviewed for, they got merged into Delta. I would have been middle management, gone. The GM assembly plant in Linden, New Jersey, gone. I would have been gone. Even if I stayed at this company, there's no security, I believe, in working for the man unless you have a union job. And even then, ask Pittsburgh how that went, you know? So you might as well start thinking now, especially you young guys. Might as well start this stuff now because it's going to take a few years for you to get it together. Better now than, you know, my age, 59, you go, working for the man sucks. What do I do? You could still do it, but think of all the years you wasted. That's why I like Jonesy here. He's a young pup and he knows working for the man is no good for his psyche.
That's right. That's why I listen to Frankie Soapbox over here.
That was a very good speech, I must admit.
And
Edit
as
it
we
as
said,
you see fit, George. I'll
and
be in my trailer.
yeah, exactly. Uh, you guys are the creators of conversionchemistry.com, and we'll end this episode with you talking about conversion chemistry. Tell me exactly what it is. I know our audience hears us talking about it every single week. How can conversion chemistry help the guy who's got a side hustle, might have a little product? He he wants to make that extra $1,000 a month. How can conversionchemistry.com help?
So conversion chemistry is going to give you that blueprint for taking your side hustle to six figures. All right. It's what we've done. You know what it is? It's a lot of corrected mistakes that Frank and I have made over the years. And instead of you, entrepreneur, having to experience and feel the pain of those mistakes yourself, you're going to follow our plan using our particular marketing methods, our business best practices, and really particular tech stacks, technology pieces integrated and automated in very specific ways, in very specific timelines. So that way you're going to be making money without spending a lot of money. You do have to spend money to make money, at a bigger scale, but you can get there. You can have a sustainable income without spending a whole lot of money. And that's exactly what we show you how to do. And then when you want to become a millionaire after that, well, just do the process 10 times and you'll get there. Or we'll connect you with, some of the people who can get you funding and that type of thing. We've got the pathways for pretty much any entrepreneur to become a millionaire.
We really do now. The resources that we know and have put together. If we don't know something, we know the right person that does know something, in other words.
Yeah.
That reminds me, now I have to change the question from would $1,000 extra a month change your life? Now it's like, how would an extra $2,000 a week change your life?
Change anybody's life. You
Yeah,
would hope.
yeah,
That's 96 grand a year.
yep, amazing.
Good
How can
stuff.
people, find out more about conversionchemistry.com? Just go to the website. Is there a newsletter? Is there, what do you want to direct them to?
Conversionchemistry.com. Hopefully you sign up and become a member. All right. The benefits are there. We do have free membership levels. Then we have premium membership levels where you get literally access to Frank and I and our entire playbook. If you want to see how we did it, and even if you don't want to do what we're doing, you don't have to run a marketing agency. You don't have to be a marketing consultant. It will pave that pathway for you to do what you want to do and get paid for it. And then yes, we do have a newsletter, which you can subscribe to right on that page. So it's all there. That's our landing page. That's our squeeze page. That's our membership page. It's all there.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's nice working with guys that could have Lamborghinis, but have Challengers, Mustangs, and Ford F-150s.
No, I'm a Dodge boy.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
you're
I
Dodge.
am a Dodge boy. I
Okay,
just talked to the dealership this morning about a new 2024 Durango SUV. That's what I want.
okay, that sounds
Yes.
good.
So if you are listening in Detroit and you work for Chrysler, Dodge, I want to hear from you. We all need vehicles to drive in, and what better way to show how much we care and how much you care about us than giving us each a brand new Dodge. I rest my
That's
case.
the ultimate advertising specialty. A free car.
Hey, at this point, they can cover it with Dodge this and Dodge that and Mopar and Rock On Mopar and Ram and everything else. I'll take it. No
I love it.
problem. Yes,
I love it.
we're not above payola at this show.
You can go to conversionchemistry.com, use the promo code Bruno2024, and you'll get what kind of discount will they get?
90% off lifetime membership. It's stupid of me to even offer that, but we do want this community to take off quickly. And that's the way to do it, is to reward founding members.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Any final words? I'll give you guys the last words. Jonesy.
Yeah, don't drive your late model convertible with the top down on the heaviest pollen week of the year. Otherwise, your throat will close up for 3 days straight.
Oh my gosh. Sounds like you experienced that.
Learn from my mistakes.
He looked happy on Monday at any rate. I didn't see him Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, but he was all proud of himself on Monday. I remember that. And my words of advice are love everybody and each other. How's that for a parting quote?
I like that. And I'll continue that with something my father told me. Love everybody, trust few, but always paddle your own canoe.
There you go. That works for me too.
All right, my friendly acquaintances in the audience, thank you for watching. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to Jonesy or Frank at conversionchemistry.com. They are the experts. I'm the aficionado. They are the experts. And we will see you on the next episode of Fire Your Boss.